If you are looking to buy cheap and safe and reliable coin, go over to U7Buy and use code CV3 on U7Buy for 8% off. Link is in the description or link is in the comments to get cheap and safe coin so you can get the cards you want. CV3. We had a very big issue. The centre mid position was vacant and we needed somebody to fill it. And so, it has now been filled by Bruno Fernandes. And today we're going to be breaking down this card into 6 categories to help you decide whether or not you should buy this card and if the card is good or not, using the metric of wondrous, mid, or doo-doo. But why should you listen to me? Well, I consistently get rank 2 in FUT Champions. I'm also a top elite division player, so I believe I can use my ability to help guide you to use the best cards in FC25 to help get you more wins. And so the categories we're going to be breaking this card in is in one of the most important things for a centre midfielder and a cam technically, which is the passing ability and the dribbling ability for sure. I will make sure we get into that in detail and I'll let you know the best ways to use those things to help perform the best for you if you do decide to buy this card. But first, let's talk about the things that are not as important but still important for a card in this position, which is the physicality. And for Bruno Fernandes, he's one of them midfielders that you know is probably going to be a little bit of a puss in boots. Not the strongest really. If he gets near Didier Drogba will grab him by the shirt and throw him to the ground like it's nothing to him. Puss in boot. But in this game, can he hold his own a little bit? Well, looky here. If you're expecting Bruno Fernandes to get near any one of these players that are semi-strong and body them off the ball, go ahead and do a handstand with one finger. Ain't happening. But if you could do that, you're a madman. Anyways, Bruno Fernandes is not going to really body players for you like that. But will he win in the air as well? Not really. His physicalities for the most part is just not going to be a top tier card, and I don't think you're really looking for that for a Bruno Fernandes. But what about his defensive capability? Now looky here. We care about defense a little bit here because he is a centre midfielder and a centre attacking mid. And I found, for some odd reason, I thought he had intercept plus in certain moments because this guy was, when the ball got near him and it hit his foot, there were a good amount of times it would actually glue to him. It wouldn't become ping pong FC. You feel me? There was also another moment in time to where when you actually tackle a player, I won't say he's hingolo tackling ability. Now, although he doesn't really have any of the defensive play styles that allow you to tackle the ball and keep possession completely, there will be moments, yes, that if you tackle it, it might fly all the way back to your right back, then back to your left back, and then right into your back of your net randomly. You know what I'm saying? Ping pong FC. It happened. But when I was playing with this card, I didn't get too many of those situations to where Bruno Fernandes could not tackle correctly. So I ain't gonna say his defense is horrendous. But what about the pace? Because you still need that midfielder and attacking midfielder to be able to either get in behind in certain moments and also be able to catch up to certain players with the speed, right? And I found his pace was actually solid. Wasn't too slow, but obviously wasn't Mbappe with the speed, you get me? I found he had some speed, not the super speed, but just speed, you get me? To be able to hold his own for that position. But what about the shooting and clinicality ability? Now for this part of the card, I was gonna just tell you what I thought about it, but I'm also gonna tell you the best ways to use it. For the shooting and clinicality ability for this centre mid, you gotta hit them trivelas like I'm watching a telenovela. Because listen, there were times I was doing the trivelas and they were just flying in the back of the net when you green time it. Because he has the trivela play style, regular degular. He doesn't need the trivela plus. He has it, and if he's in that position where you put him in the right centre mid or just in the cam position where he's on the right side of the net and you shoot it cross goal consistently, the chances of that ball going in the net is crazy. It'll give you so many goal scoring opportunities if you use that correct. But one thing not to do with the shooting is trying to finesse like Messi, bro. He's not elite with it. He does not have the play style. It bricks a lot. It's not consistent. But overall, that clinicality ability for him is otherworldly, for me at least. Basically like a strike. What about the dribbling ability? Can he do a little bit of that twist and turn? Look at here. I found that his balance and agile was a little bit shaky like Parkinson. So there were moments where it felt like a hiccup. You ever had hiccup? You're talking normally and then something like that. He would move nice, but then a random odd behavior. But overall, there's less odd behaviors than great behaviors. I found his dribbling is more consistently good than bad. But it's not like the best in the game, but it's still good enough dribbling to do things like passing. And we're gonna get into that because this guy has one of my favorite, if not favorite, passing playstyle, Tiki-Taka Barcelona. Oh yes! You can, with this playstyle, you don't even have to think when you pass. You can just pass it as soon as the ball gets to him. You don't have to take a touch. You don't have to do none of that. It is beautiful. And he has that playstyle along with long ball. So if you send them over the tops into Haaland, or the man himself, Mbappe, the chances of that ball landing on them is very, very high. He has literally all the passing playstyles. So with this card, as soon as you get the ball into him, look for any player to get an over the top or a pass into because it will be very unlikely for him to fail you when it comes to the pass. But with all of that being said, I've said a lot of things about this card, but that does not mean that he's a wondrous card. He can be midrist, he can also be mid, he can be mudu or doodoo. Now for me, using this Bruno Fernandes card, I found that because of the dribbling in this game that's so important, I feel like that has to be very good. And for Bruno Fernandes, it was still pretty good. So overall, I'm gonna classify Bruno Fernandes as wondrous. Absolutely an amazing card to pick up. He's only 1 mil right now, but it's early. So soon he'll probably drop to at least 600 to 700K, hopefully. And he's definitely a solid pickup. Great card to use. Helped me in these games games like crazy. But this card right here could be even more insane for you. Find out if this card is wondrous, mid, or doo. Yeah.